How you going, everybody? This is Puppet Boy. We start this one with Frederick Charles Krueger. You all better know him as Freddy Krueger. Now, he's the only horror movie icon to be played by the same actor throughout the whole series, the one and only Robert Englund. Now, Freddy's always the most easily recognizable horror movie icons, apart from Jason, through his burnt, disfigured face, his fedora, his striped Christmas sweater, the red and green one, and obviously his trademark metal clawed leather glove on his right hand, which he disposes of his victims in his dreams, or in their dreams, resulting them to die in the real world. Now, apart from 7 films versus Jason, a remake, Freddy also hosted his own TV series called Freddy's Nightmares. Now this ran for 2 seasons with 44 episodes under its belt. Now the pilot episode, called No More Mr. Nice Guy, sound familiar? It depicts the trial of Freddy Krueger. Now his first movie appearance is in Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street, released in 1984. Now we learn of Krueger's backstory from Nancy's mother, Nancy being the heroine of this story. Now her mother explains that he was a child murderer who the parents of Springwood ended up killing. Now I've had 2 versions of this story, so I'm not sure. One's more in depth than the other, I guess. See, the first one goes that it seems that a police officer who entered Freddy's house, who heard a child scream, didn't have the appropriate warrant for entering the premises and while catching Freddy in the act. So all the evidence was inadmissible in court, and Freddy was released due to this technicality. Now another side of the story goes, which is obviously that's been told in this movie through Nancy's mother, is that while Freddy was caught, the officer who caught Freddy also in the act didn't sign, well, the warrant wasn't signed in the proper place, so all the evidence was inadmissible as well, and Freddy was acquitted of all charges, thus resulting in the parents of Springwood to take vigilante action. Now also, this movie we noted that it's Johnny Depp's actual first on-screen appearance. Cue girly screams. Now, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. This one takes place 5 years after the first film. How we know this is the Walshes that move in to Nancy's old home have a son called Jesse, who finds a diary alongside his girlfriend while cleaning out his room, and it's dated back 5 years. And this is how they learn about Freddy. Now, I quite like this film because it's probably, let's say, the one movie made for the homosexual market. Now you can argue this, I'm not a homophobe by all means, but it has homoerotic theme all the way throughout it, and even Robert Englund himself said that Freddy in this represents Jesse, who is the son of the family that moved in, is repressed homosexuality. And there's so many scenes in this movie that you can actually go see towards his girly scream, him butt bouncing his cupboard clothes, to his little popcorn cracker. I don't know what the hell he's doing on that bed, but those who have seen number 2, you know what I'm talking about. And even the little encounter with his coach in an S&M leather bar full of gays. Aren't you lot lucky? See an actual major film made for that in idea, which by no means a bad thing. Now, another thing is, we go to Dream Warriors, which is the 3rd movie. Now, in the 2nd sequel, it seems that Freddy was systematically killing the last of the Elm Street children. Now, the remainder of the children have been sent to Western Hills Psychiatric Hospital, where their shrink, Neil, is the one looking after them and trying to repress their memories of Freddy. Now in this, we first get to see Krueger's mum, Amanda. Now she appears as a ghost in the graveyard to Neil, and tries to tell him that the only way to hoping to stop her son is to bury his body in hallowed ground. Now Nancy also makes a return alongside her father in this after being absent from the second film. Now, in this also, Freddy succeeds in finally killing the first person to humiliate and defeat him, Nancy. Now, funny thing is, due to a certain scene in this resulting in syringes, it was banned in Queensland. Few eastern states, what a funny one. But I must have seen the deaths in this in the hospital are actually pretty good, because see the name up top. I do love puppets, and the Freddy puppet, what he does to one of his victims is great. Now, Nightmare on Street form. There is a lot that goes on in this. Now, in the previous one, there was a main victim of Freddy's called Kristen, who had the abilities to take her fellow psychiatric nutjobs into the dreams with her, and that was the key into fighting Freddy. Now in this one, she's played by Tuesday Night, whereas in the last one she was played by Patricia Arquette. Now I don't really know why they didn't ask her to return, but in this, Kristen accidentally releases Krueger. She also still retains her powers from the third movie of dragging others into her dreams. And to cut a long story short, she's basically killed by Freddy, but before this happens, she transfers her powers to her best friend Alice. Now, Alice watches as Freddy destroys all her friends one by one. Now, realizing she can control her dreams, thanks to Kristen, she absorbs her friend's good qualities and uses this to defeat Freddy. Now, my favourite scene has to be the bit where Alice saves Debbie. Now, my favourite scene has to be the bit that Alice saves Debbie. And my favourite bit is the one that Alice has to save Debbie. Now, the Dream Child, the next one, picks up shortly after the events of the Dream Master. Dream Master being the fourth film. Now, the spirit of Amanda Krueger returns in this, and it seems the story of Freddy, actually Freddy's conception, is told in a little bit more in depth, because the thing is, other than being retold, we actually get to see the events that unfold. And it seems Amanda was working as a nun in a mental institution, and she was accidentally locked in a room and raped hundreds of times. Now, we all know the chant, son of 100 maniacs, son of 100 maniacs. Yeah, it's great. And she's played by Boeffel this time, a different actress played in the second one. Third one, sorry. Now, it seems as the series progresses, Nightmare on Elm Street, it seems that the deaths become a little bit more inventive, because the scene at the dinner table is by far the most amusing, and those who have seen it, who doesn't love Super Freddy? Now, also, during the duration of this film, Alice finds out she's pregnant. Now, this presents Freddy a way to resurrect himself through her unborn child, Jacob. Cue that freaky child with the big eyes. Yeah, we've seen him in a few horror movies. Now, in Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare, this takes place 10 years into the future. Now, this Springwood is now devoid of all children, and the remaining parents, have all gone a little mad, losing their children because, you know, of Freddy lurking in their dreams. Now, in this, we find out Freddy had a daughter, Catherine, and as it goes, you know, they always change their names so they don't have anything to do with their past. Now, Catherine eventually uncovers her father's past, the child abuse, cruelty to animals, even murdering his own wife, which she witnessed, and this is a repressed memory that reveals itself later on into the movie. And also, the moment the dream demons appear before he dies at the hands of the Springwood parents, and they offer him untold power. And if you don't know who the dream demons are, they're actually three serpentine entities who are revealed to be the source behind Freddy's power. Now, Johnny Depp makes quite a nice cameo in this, as well as a guy on the TV. Opera Noodle Mantra, about talking about how drugs fry your brains and shit. Yeah, we know his 21 Jump Street days. And also does Roseanne as the childless woman. And now you'll love this one. Freddy's stepfather, Alice Cooper, sans the makeup. You gotta love that. Now, as we continue on, Freddy's 7th appearance is in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Now, this actually focuses more on a real life setting, like in present day, and Wes Craven, Heather Langenkamp, Robin Englund, all those, they all play themselves. And in this, Wes actually explains that Krueger is an evil entity that's been trapped within the Nightmare films, and he wants to somehow find a way to cross over into our world. The only thing is, the only thing stopping him is Heather, or Nancy, the gatekeeper. Yeah, not the strongest film in the series, unfortunately, and I must admit I don't really like it. The rest were pretty good up till then. Now, for the new age, cue that bit. Freddy appears in a 2010 remake of the original. Now, instead of Robert Englund, Jackie Earle Haley actually takes on the role of Freddy Krueger. Now, there's numerous amounts of differences in this film, like story-wise and all, but the main difference between the original and this film is that instead of a power plant worker and a child murderer, Freddy was the groundskeeper at Batham preschool and a child molester. See, this is the idea that Wes actually had originally, but exorcised it for obvious reasons. Now, Freddy Krueger's first video game appearance, hell, even Michael Myers had one, was in Nintendo's 1989 game A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I thought NES was a sissy, family-orientated console. Now, he later appeared as a downloadable character for Mortal Kombat, which was released last year. I'm not even going to get started with this because there are far worse games out there, but because Mortal Kombat has such a huge fan base, you silly old pricks at the All Classification Board decided to ban this. Now, I know there's X-ray like vision that you see with killing and all that. It simply could be removed, like they've done numerous amounts of times. The game is brilliant. It saves having to get it imported or whatnot, you know, but like I said, I'm just going to save argument and breathe in, because Freddy in that was brilliant, as was every other one that knows the characters from Mortal Kombat off by heart. Sub-Zero, Scorpion. Now, at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, now this is numerous amounts that Freddy has cameos or special guest appearances, hell, even Robot Chicken, you know, Family Guy, stuff like that. Now we see Jason's mask in Jason Goes to Hell dragged under the earth by Freddy's gloved hand, thus setting up Freddy vs. Jason. Now, over here, see, we got this box set from America. Now, I don't understand why us in Australia have to suffer without having such fantastic things. Because check this out. Who doesn't love this shit? You know, and we just don't get the good stuff anymore. And the bonus disc has this, not only encyclopedia, but also labyrinth that you can check out and go through, like the boiler room and everything where Freddy was notoriously murdering his kids. And there's so much good stuff, and anyone who knows at the end the wide fence what the hell it does, please tell me, because I'm so confused. And that is all from me, and this is the rest of it.